Hi everyone, it's Greta with ArtSphere. I'm back again today with another lesson for you. So we are going to be creating Rodney McCoubrey inspired recycled fish. So Rodney McCoubrey is a contemporary artist, which means he's an artist that is creating art right now. He deals with issues that are in the present. So he's a contemporary artist that lives in Southern California, and he creates sculptures out of recycled materials. And he finds these recycled materials in dumpsters, he finds them in trash cans on the street, he finds them just in his own home. He finds his materials all over the place, and he never runs out because there's always recycled materials to be spared. So today, that's exactly what we're going to be doing. We're going to be taking recycled objects and we're going to be making a fish sculpture. And there are a couple materials that you're going to need. You're going to need glue, a magazine, scissors, some kind of water-based paint. I'm using gouache, a plastic or cardboard milk carton, some jar lids, it doesn't matter the size, and a plastic bag. So the first step we're going to take is to cut open this cardboard carton. And this is going to be a little bit difficult. So if you struggle with this, you might want to have a parent or older sibling help you. So we're just going to kind of open this up. And you want to make sure that you wash all of these recyclables out before you use them. So I'm just going to open mine up like this. And mine has a little bit of water in there still. And you're just going to want and cut these two seams. So it doesn't matter which way you hold it, but two of the seams so that one of the sides is going to be cut. So I have one side cut open. And I have the other side cut open so that it looks like this. And I just want to cut this flap right off. So that you have something like this. And what you want to aim for is like this is going to be completely flat open. So the next thing you're going to cut are these two sides. So that you have a completely semi-flat open carton like this. Now, mine is just a little bit wet, but that's okay. The next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna make the tail of the fish. So you can kind of see how this is already angled, already kind of like in shapes, you're just gonna wanna cut this triangle. And you can already see that that kind of like looks like a fishtail. So once you have that kind of a shape going for you, you are going to want and grab a pencil or marker and draw out a fish body. Now this doesn't have to be perfect. You can make it really simple. I made mine like super, super simple. I think fish, they just have like rounded bodies. So you don't have to be too like precise about this. I'm just gonna take a marker like this and just make a fish body. So I went and dried my board off a little bit because it was kind of wet. So I think that's like really important. You want to make sure that all of your materials are completely dry. So I did a half a circle in this top portion. And then I did kind of like a triangle with a little like hooked nose in this front middle part. And then I kind of just did the same thing. I did another little half circle in the bottom section and then just a triangle right underneath. So you can see in this front box, we have two kind of like triangle-ish shapes. And then in the top and the bottom, we have like half circles. And then you can just cut that out. So here is your fish shape. And I just extended mine a little bit, but you can kind of, as you're cutting, you can kind of like alter it if you need. But there is the body of my fish. So the next thing we are going to be doing is we're going to paint the fish in the color that we want. And I added like a bunch of colors afterward. So for the body of the fish, I just did one color and then I went back in after and added more color. So for this step, just pick one color and paint the body of the fish. So I'm going to pick blue. And I have my paintbrush. And I'm just gonna start painting my body blue. And I think acrylic paint works the best for this, but I only have gouache at the moment, so we're gonna make the best of with what we have. So once I have my body painted, I'm gonna wait to do the next step until this is completely dry. So moving on to the next step, once our fish is all dry, we have them backwards. We are going to now create the top fin and the tail fin. And we're gonna do this by layering different pieces of our magazine to the fish. I just picked one page, but you feel free to use like different pages that are different colors. And basically, I just draw a bunch of different size triangles going from like big to little, and then I just cut them out and I can layer them on my fish. So I have some pieces cut out for my top fin, and now I'm just going to lay them out in the position that I like. So I usually start like biggest to smallest again. See if I can pick that up. So you're gonna kind of have something like this, whoops, up top. And once you have that arranged in the way that you like, you can glue it down. So I have my top fin glued down and I'm ready to move on to my tail fins. And this is going to be kind of similar to the top. I'm going to cut out a bunch of different shaped triangles and they can be different colors. So if you want to do like a bunch of different pages, that's great. And I'm just going to overlap the triangles on each other. So kind of how I overlapped them up top, I'm going to overlap them on the bottom. And I think this just gives it like a nice scaly look. And even if you have some of like your triangles kind of like hanging off of the edges, I think that just looks more like scaly and more natural. So now that I have my top fin and my tail fin arranged and glued down, I am going to move on to my body. So now we're going to move on to making the eye. And what we're going to need is our little jar lids. This is going to be the outer portion of the eye. And then also this little spigot part of our carton. So once you have this little spigot circle thing cut out, you are going to glue the eye down. And you're going to start by taking this lid and gluing it wherever you want the eye to go. I'm going to have mine like right here. And once that is sturdy, you're going to want to let that dry and then come back and glue this inside of it like that. So my eye is all glued on, and now you're going to work on the scales for the body. So you're going to take your paper bag and you're just going to cut out little pieces of it. They can be all sorts of sizes and shapes. We're going to be overlapping these. And once you have a bunch of these cut out, you're going to glue them down. And I thought that it looked pretty cool leaving some of them kind of like flapped out, like not all the way glued down, just so that it gives it more of a three-dimensional look. So I'm just going to take my glue and kind of just put it directly on my fish and just do like a thin layer. I'm going to start a section going just like right here, and then I can just start gluing it down. And you can do this pretty randomly. It doesn't have to be planned out or anything, and they can overlap, and you know, this part's pretty random. Okay, so I glued the pieces of plastic bag onto my fish, and it's gonna look like this. You can see a lot of the pieces are kind of sticking up, giving it that kind of like scaly look. And now, once it's all dry, I can start painting it different colors. So I'm all ready to do the last step of this lesson, and that is going to be creating the lower fin. Now I can either create my lower fin in the bottom of my fish or in the middle of my fish. This is what it's going to look like if I do it in the middle, and I'm going to show you what it looks like on the bottom. So it's really easy. You're just going to do the exact same thing as you did for your top fin. you are going to cut out a bunch of different shaped triangles from your magazine, and then you are going to arrange them on your fish. I like to do it again from largest to smallest, and then you're just going to glue it right on. So once your bottom fins are all glued on and have been set aside to dry, your little fishy is complete. So I hope you guys enjoyed this lesson, and I hope you learned a new way to reuse some recycled materials. And most importantly, I hope you had fun with this. So thanks again for watching, and until next time.